The Grand Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Vexithorian stepped onto the speaking platform. His gray skin seemed paler than usual under the bright lights. The 12 representatives of the United Species Alliance watched him with their various eyes, appendages, and sensory organs. Esteemed members of the council, Vexithorian began, his voice echoing in the vast chamber. I bring grave news. The quarantine around Sol system has been breached. A wave of murmurs swept through the chamber. Some representatives clicked mandibles in alarm. Others flashed warning colors across their skin. Elder Zorn, the ancient Phylaxian, who had served on the council for over 300 cycles, raised a bony hand. Clarify the nature of this breach, Ambassador. Vexithorian touched a control panel, and a holographic display appeared above the central table. It showed a small vessel approaching the third planet of the Sol system, Earth. A Malgrovian science vessel entered the restricted zone 6 rotations ago. They claimed they were collecting simple biological samples from the outer atmosphere. When confronted, they insisted they were unaware of the quarantine status. Impossible, shouted Representative Klaatu of the Vorlon Federation. The warning, beacons surround the entire system. The quarantine of Sol 3 has been in effect for over 800 years. It is the most basic law of our alliance. Vexithorian nodded grimly. Yes, galactic law is clear. Do not disturb the humans. Do not wake them from their slumber. On Earth, in a small wooden cabin nestled among pine trees in Montana, Bill Carson woke with a splitting headache. The morning light streaming through. His window felt too bright, too intense. He groaned and rolled over, knocking an empty whiskey bottle from his nightstand. Too much last night, he muttered, pressing his palms against his temples. Bill was a retired Army colonel who had served in 3 wars. At 52, he now lived alone in the mountains, away from people and their problems. He preferred the company of trees and the occasional deer to humans. He stumbled to the bathroom and splashed cold water on his face. When he looked in the mirror, he noticed something strange. His eyes, normally dark brown, had flecks of gold in them. He blinked and looked again. Getting old, he told his reflection. 2,000 miles away in Miami, Florida, Nurse Kate Miller finished her night shift at the hospital. She hadn't slept well for 3 nights. Strange dreams kept waking her. Dreams of stars and distant worlds and a sense of something important she had forgotten. Kate walked to her car in the early morning light. The hospital parking lot was nearly empty. As she reached for her keys, she dropped them. When she bent to pick them up, she noticed a small puddle on the ground reflecting the sky perfectly. For a moment, she saw not clouds but unfamiliar stars and planets. She shook her head and the image vanished. Just a trick of the light, she told herself. Back in the council chamber, the debate had grown heated. We must destroy the Malgrovian vessel before they leave the system, insisted Representative Klaatu. We cannot risk contamination. The vessel has already departed, Vexithorian replied, and we cannot be certain what contact, if any, they made with the surface. Elder Zorn's voice cut through the noise. Tell us plainly, Ambassador, has the awakening begun? Vexithorian hesitated before answering. We cannot be certain. Our monitoring stations detected unusual electromagnetic activity from the planet's surface shortly after the Malgrovian vessel departed. It may be nothing. It may be the beginning. The chamber erupted in chaos. Some representatives demanded immediate military action. Others called for evacuation of nearby systems. Elder Zorn raised both hands for silence. When the chamber quieted, he spoke in a voice heavy with age and wisdom. Many of you are too young to remember why we enacted the quarantine. You know only that humans are dangerous. You do not know how or why. The old Phylaxian's eyes swept the room. The humans were not contained on Earth because they were primitive. They were contained because they were the most fearsome warriors the galaxy had ever known. In his cabin, Bill Carson decided to hike up to the ridge. Fresh air might clear his head. As he walked through the forest, his headache grew worse. The sounds of birds and insects seemed louder than normal. He could hear a creak a quarter-mile away as clearly as if he were standing beside it. He stopped and leaned against a tree, dizzy. Something was happening to him. This was no hangover. His skin tingled. His muscles ached as if he'd run a marathon. Strange humming sound caught his attention. It came from deeper in the forest up the mountain. Without understanding why, Bill began walking toward it. His feet seemed to know the way, though he had never been on this particular path before. After 20 minutes of walking, he entered a small clearing. In the center lay a metal object about the size of a basketball. It glowed faintly with blue light and emitted the humming sound that had drawn him here. Bill approached it cautiously. The object was clearly not human-made. Its surface was seamless, with strange patterns that shifted as he watched. He knew he should report this, call someone. Instead, drawn by an impulse he couldn't explain, he reached out and touched it. Images flooded his mind. Stars, planets, vast ships traveling between them, battles, a war that spanned galaxies, and humans fighting with impossible strength and speed. Humans feared throughout the stars. Bill fell to his knees, gasping. The images kept coming. A peace treaty, a decision, sleep, forget, wait. In Miami, Kate Miller couldn't sleep despite her exhaustion. The dreams had returned, more vivid than before. She saw herself dressed in strange clothing, standing on the bridge of a massive ship. She was giving orders. People, no, not all people, some were clearly not human, were following her commands. She woke with a start when her phone rang. It was the hospital. They needed her to come in immediately. Something about patients with unusual symptoms, high fevers, increased strength, speaking in languages they didn't know. In Washington, D.C., at a secure facility deep beneath the Pentagon, General Frank Thompson stared at the reports coming in from around the country. Hundreds of cases now, people experiencing the same symptoms, enhanced senses, unusual strength, and memories of things that couldn't possibly have happened. "Sir," his aide said, handing him another report. "NASA confirms it. There was an unidentified object in Earth orbit 3 days ago. It's gone now." Thompson closed his eyes briefly. When he opened them, he gave an order he'd hoped never to give. Initiate Prometheus Protocol. In the council chamber, Ambassador Vexisthorian's communicator chimed. He listened to the message, his expression grim. "It has begun," he told the silent chamber. "The humans are waking up. After 800 years of peace, the galaxy's greatest warriors are returning." Elder Zorn nodded slowly. "Then the galaxy must prepare. The humans are coming back to the stars." 3 weeks passed since the Malgrovian ship breached Earth's quarantine. Across the planet, strange events multiplied daily. In hospitals from Tokyo to London to Buenos Aires, doctors reported patients with unexplainable symptoms. Heightened senses, rapid healing, unusual strength. Bill Carson sat on his porch watching the sunset with new eyes. Since touching the alien device in the forest, his world had changed. Colors were brighter, sounds were clearer, and the memories of a life he never lived, continued to surface. He remembered battles on distant worlds. He remembered commanding troops not all human. He remembered a war that spanned the stars. A black SUV appeared on the dirt road leading to his cabin. Bill wasn't surprised. He had been expecting them. 2 men in dark suits stepped out. The older one approached, while the younger stayed by the vehicle, hand inside his jacket. "Colonel Carson," the older man said, "I'm Agent Alan Wright. We need you to come with us." Bill nodded. "Been waiting for you. Let me grab my bag." In Miami, Kate Miller worked her 4th double shift that week. The hospital was overflowing with patients showing the same strange symptoms. Some spoke languages they had never learned. Others displayed knowledge of advanced mathematics or engineering with no prior training. Kate herself had changed. The dreams had become more frequent, more detailed. She now knew they weren't dreams at all, but memories. She had been a medical officer on a ship called the Horizon. She had treated dozens of different species. She had been part of something greater than Earth. "Nurse Miller," called Dr. Peterson from down the hall. "Room 302 needs you." In room 302, A young boy sat up in bed drawing complex diagrams on a tablet. His mother watched with concern. He's never been good at science, she told Kate. Now he's designing what he calls a gravity engine. He has a constant fever, but he says he feels fine. Kate looked at the boy's drawings. They were familiar to her. Part of her new memories included knowledge of such devices. "May I speak with him alone?" she asked the mother, who nodded and stepped outside. When they were alone, Kate spoke softly. "You're remembering, aren't you? Things you never learned." The boy looked up, relief in his eyes. "You too? I thought I was going crazy." "You're not crazy," she assured him. "Something is happening to all of us." At the Pentagon, General Frank Thompson briefed a room of military and government officials. The large screen behind him showed a map of the world with hundreds of red dots representing reported cases. The Prometheus Protocol was established in 1947, Thompson explained. After an incident in New Mexico, certain elements within the government became aware that humans might have a hidden history. A woman in a business suit raised her hand. "You're saying the conspiracy theories are true? Aliens visited Earth?" "Not exactly," Thompson replied. "We're the aliens, in a manner of speaking." Shocked whispers filled the room. "Let me be clear," Thompson continued. "According to the limited information passed down through the Prometheus Protocol, humans did not evolve naturally on Earth. We were placed here. Our true abilities and memories were suppressed." "By whom?" someone asked. "By ourselves," Thompson answered. "By our ancestors. For reasons we're only beginning to understand." In a secret facility in Nevada, Bill Carson met other awakened humans. Soldiers mostly, but also scientists, engineers, and doctors. All experiencing the same phenomenon, the return of abilities and memories that had been dormant for centuries. Bill was introduced to Dr. Susan Brown, lead scientist of the Prometheus Protocol. "We've been monitoring for this possibility for decades," she told him as they walked through a laboratory filled with strange equipment. "We always knew it might happen someday, that something might trigger the awakening." "How many of us are there?" Bill asked. "The numbers grow hourly," Susan replied. "Our current estimate is over 5,000 fully awakened individuals worldwide, with partial awakening affecting perhaps 10 times that number." She led him to a room with a large window. On the other side was the alien device he had found in the forest, now contained in an energy field. "You found one of the triggers," Susan explained. "The Malgrovian incursion activated several around the planet. Failsafes designed to wake us if we were ever contacted." Bill stared at the device. "I remember now. We weren't imprisoned on Earth. We chose this." In Earth orbit, a sleek vessel approached silently. Unlike the clumsy Malgrovian science ship, this craft was designed for stealth and diplomacy. Inside, Ambassador Ilori prepared for humanity's first official contact in 8 centuries. Ilori was nervous. His species had only joined the Galactic Council 3 centuries ago. They had never known a universe with awake humans. The stories and warnings about humanity's warrior past were legendary. "We are entering Earth atmosphere," the pilot announced, following the coordinates provided by their government. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Multiple aircraft approaching," the sensor operator reported. "Primitive but armed. They have weapon locks on us." Ilori felt fear but controlled it. "Send the diplomatic codes as instructed by the Council. Make no aggressive moves." The ship descended toward the Nevada desert, surrounded by Earth fighter jets. On the ground, a reception committee waited. General Thompson stood with Bill Carson and a dozen other military personnel. All were armed. The ship landed gracefully. A ramp extended and Ambassador Ilori emerged, flanked by 2 guards. The alien was tall and thin with pale blue skin and large dark eyes. Ilori raised his hands in the traditional greeting of peace. "I come on behalf of the Galactic Council. I am Ambassador Ilori of the Thalaxian Federation." General Thompson stepped forward. "I am General Frank Thompson of Earth. This is Colonel William Carson." Bill studied the alien. Through his awakened memories, He recognized the species. Thalaxians, he said. Your people joined the council after the quarantine began. We never met your kind before. Ilori's eyes widened in surprise. You remember, the awakening is real. It's real, Bill confirmed. And spreading. Now we want answers. Why were we put to sleep? What are we? In Miami, Kate Miller was approached by government agents as she left the hospital. Nurse Miller, we need you to come with us, a woman in a dark suit said. Your country needs your expertise. Kate wasn't surprised. She had known this was coming. Where are we going? Nevada, the agent replied. There's someone there you need to meet. On the flight, Kate reviewed files they gave her, cases similar to hers from around the world. People awakening to abilities and memories they shouldn't have. One file caught her attention. Colonel William Carson. According to the report, he had found an alien device and was now remembering his past life as a starship commander. In her new memories, Kate knew that name. She had served with a Commander Carson during the Proxima War. Was it possible? Could they have known each other in that forgotten past? As the government plane flew west, Kate wondered what would happen when they landed. The world was changing. Humanity was remembering its true nature. And somewhere out among the stars, the galaxy watched and worried as its most feared warriors began to wake up. The sleek diplomatic vessel from the Galactic Council sat in the Nevada desert, surrounded by Earth military vehicles. Inside a hastily constructed meeting room nearby, Ambassador Ilori faced General Thompson, Bill Carson, and several government officials. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a knife. So you're saying we agreed to this? General Thompson asked, his voice tight with controlled anger. Humans chose to be neutered and isolated? Ambassador Ilori's large eyes blinked slowly. It was the alternative to extinction, General. After the Proxima War, the galaxy feared humans too much to allow your species to remain active in galactic affairs. Bill Carson leaned forward. His memories of that time were becoming clearer by the hour. We nearly destroyed everything. Yes, Ilori confirmed. Human warriors were unmatched in combat. Your species had developed genetic modifications that made you stronger, faster, and more durable than any other known species. Combined with your natural aggression and ingenuity, you became the most feared mercenaries and soldiers in known space. A government scientist spoke up. But why would we agree to be confined to Earth with our abilities and memories suppressed? Because the alternative was genocide, Bill said quietly, remembering. After we helped win the Proxima War, our allies became afraid of us. They worried we might turn on them next. Our leaders saw the writing on the wall, agreed to quarantine or face elimination. Ilori nodded. A compromise was reached. Humans would return to their ancestral homeworld, Earth. Your abilities would be suppressed, your memories of galactic civilization erased. You would be allowed to develop naturally in isolation until you either evolved beyond your warlike tendencies or destroyed yourselves. And the Prometheus Protocol? Asked General Thompson. A failsafe, Bill answered before Ilori could speak. Our ancestors insisted on it. If any species ever breached the quarantine, the suppression would begin to lift. We wouldn't be sitting ducks if someone came hunting. Outside the facility, a helicopter landed. Kate Miller stepped out, escorted by 2 agents. Her heart raced as they led her into the building. The memories flowing through her mind told her what she was about to face: contact with an alien species, something she had done countless times in her previous life. When Kate entered the meeting room, her eyes immediately locked with Bill's. Recognition flashed between them, not just from their files, but from somewhere deeper, older. Commander Carson, she said, the title coming naturally to her lips. Bill stood. Chief Medical Officer Miller, you haven't changed. Ilori looked between them with surprise. You remember each other? This is unexpected. The awakening is progressing, faster than our models predicted. Kate took a seat at the table. You should know that hospitals across the country are overwhelmed. People are remembering, changing. Some are developing abilities that medical science can't explain. General Thompson frowned. How widespread is this? Based on the reports I've seen, Kate replied. At least 10,000 people have fully awakened to their genetic heritage. Many more are showing early signs. Elori's skin paled. So many, so quickly. The council must be informed immediately. The alien reached for a communication device, but Bill stopped him. Wait. What will the council do with this information? They will need to decide how to respond, Elori said carefully. Some members will advocate for peaceful reintegration of humanity into galactic society. Others will want to contain the threat, Bill finished. Permanently this time. In the vast chamber of the Galactic Council, emergency session protocols had been activated. Representatives from 200 species gathered to address the human situation. Ambassador Vexithorian addressed the assembly. The quarantine has failed. Humans are awakening to their true nature at an alarming rate. We must decide on immediate action. Representative Klaatu of the Vorlon Federation rose to speak. The solution is obvious. The Earth must be sterilized before the humans can leave their planet. We cannot risk another Proxima War. Many voices shouted agreement, while others protested. Elder Zorn called for order. Have we become the very monsters we feared? Would we destroy an entire species out of fear? Not fear, Klaatu countered. Prudence. The historical records are clear. Awakened humans are unstoppable in combat. Their genetic modifications give them advantages no other species can match. If they return to the stars, war will follow. In a darkened room across the galaxy, the Malgrovian High Command met in secret. Admiral Drav reviewed the data from their science vessel's illicit mission to Earth. The humans are awakening as we expected, he told the assembled commanders. The Galactic Council is in disarray, debating what to do. And what will we do? Asked Commander Vex. Admiral Drav activated a holographic display showing Earth. We will do what the Council lacks the courage to do. We will eliminate the human threat before it spreads. Our stealth fleet is already moving into position. The planet killer weapons are primed. The Council will object, Commander Vex cautioned. By the time they discover our actions, it will be too late, Drav replied coldly. We will present them with a solution rather than a debate. They will thank us in time. Back on Earth, the number of awakened humans grew hourly. In the Nevada facility, Kate worked with other medical professionals to understand the changes happening to their bodies. The genetic modifications that had been dormant for centuries were reactivating, transforming ordinary humans into the warriors of legend. Bill gathered with military leaders to assess their defenses. His recovered memories included knowledge of advanced weapons and tactics that had been lost for generations. Our biggest problem is space capability, he explained to General Thompson. If anyone decides Earth is a threat, they could attack from orbit and we'd have no way to respond. Could we adapt our existing technology? Thompson asked. Bill shook his head. Not quickly enough. We need ships, defenses. In another part of the facility, scientists studied the alien device Bill had found. Dr. Susan Brown made a breakthrough discovery. It's not just a trigger, she told Bill and Kate excitedly. It's a database. It contains technical specifications for human ships and weapons from before the quarantine. Hope flared in Bill's eyes. Can we access it? We already have, Susan replied. And there's more. There are thousands of these devices buried around the planet, breadcrumbs left by our ancestors. Each contains different information we'll need. Kate's medical team reported another discovery. The awakening is accelerating. Something in Earth's atmosphere is speeding up the process, possibly put there intentionally long ago. At the current rate, most of Earth's population will begin showing some signs of awakening within months. Ambassador Elori received an urgent communication from the Council. His expression grew grim as he read it. What is it? Bill asked. The Council is deadlocked, Elori said. Some want peace, others want containment. But there's worse news. Our intelligence suggests a Malgrovian fleet is moving toward Earth with planet-killer class weapons. Why would they do that? Kate asked. Elori hesitated. The Malgrovians have always been proactive in dealing with threats, and they were the ones who breached your quarantine in the first place. They wanted this to happen, Bill realized. They wanted to trigger the awakening so they'd have an excuse to eliminate us. General Thompson stood. How long do we have? Days at most, Ilori replied. Bill turned to Susan. Those technical specifications, could we build anything in time? Not from scratch, she said, but we might be able to adapt existing craft with the alien technology we've been reverse engineering since the 1950s. Bill nodded. Decision made. Then that's what we'll do. Humanity is going back to the stars, ready or not. As night fell over the Nevada desert, awakened humans from around the country converged on the facility. Each brought unique skills and memories from humanity's hidden past. Engineers, pilots, soldiers, all answering a call they didn't fully understand but couldn't ignore. Earth was preparing for war just as it had done thousands of years ago. But this time, they would be fighting for survival against an enemy they had never met, in a galaxy that had forgotten what humans were truly capable of. Time was running out. In the 5 days since Ambassador Ilori warned them about the approaching Malgrovian fleet, the Nevada facility had transformed into a hive of frantic activity. Awakened humans worked around the clock, adapting Earth technology, with the knowledge recovered from their ancestral memories and the alien devices. In what had once been an aircraft hangar, Bill Carson inspected their progress. 3 modified space shuttles stood ready, their hulls now reinforced with materials created using recovered alien science. Each was armed with weapons far beyond anything Earth had possessed before the awakening. Will they fly? General Thompson asked, stepping up beside Bill. They'll fly, Bill confirmed. The question is whether there'll be enough against planet killers. Kate Miller entered the hangar, followed by a team of medical staff. In the days since her arrival, she had established protocols for handling the awakening process. Under her guidance, they had learned to manage the physical and psychological changes that came with recovering centuries of suppressed abilities and memories. We have the crews ready, she told Bill. 30 fully awakened pilots and weapons specialists for each ship, all with combat experience from before. Bill nodded. It still felt strange to discuss memories from hundreds of years ago as if they had happened yesterday. Yet for the awakened humans, those memories were often clearer than what they had eaten for breakfast. Any word from the council? Bill asked, turning to Ambassador Ilori, who had joined them. The alien's expression was grim. The council remains divided. Some members have called for sanctions against the Malgrovians, but there is no consensus for direct intervention. So we're on our own, General Thompson concluded. Not entirely, Ilori said. I have exceeded my authority. A small defensive fleet loyal to Elder Zorn is moving to intercept the Malgrovians, but they may not arrive in time. Bill clasped the alien's shoulder. Thank you, Ambassador. In orbit above Earth, the first of the Malgrovian ships appeared. Sleek and deadly, they materialized from stealth mode only when they were in position. Earth's primitive radar systems detected them too late to provide any meaningful warning. Admiral Drav of the Malgrovian fleet surveyed the blue planet below with cold calculation. Begin deployment of the planet killer weapons. Target major population centers first. Admiral, his second-in-command, reported, we're detecting unusual energy signatures from the surface. They appear to be preparing some kind of response. Dravi dismissed the concern with a wave of his hand. Impossible. Their technology is centuries behind ours. Whatever defenses they have will be useless against our weapons. On Earth, alarms blared throughout the Nevada facility. Bill rushed to the command center where technicians monitored satellite feeds showing the Malgrovian ships. How many? He asked. 7 large vessels, a technician reported. They're moving into attack formation. Bill turned to the room full of awakened humans. This is what we prepared for. Crews to your ships, everyone else to the bunkers. Kate caught his arm as he turned to leave. I'm coming with you. You're needed here, Bill argued. If you fail, it won't matter where I am, Kate said firmly. Besides, you need a medical officer who understands what's happening to our bodies during combat. Bill knew better than to argue further. In their shared memories, Kate had been just as stubborn hundreds of years ago. Outside, the modified shuttles stood ready. Unlike their previous bulky design, they now looked sleeker, more predatory. The crews boarded quickly, taking positions at stations that seemed familiar despite being newly created. Bill took the commander's seat on the lead ship, which they had named Defiance. Kate sat at a nearby console, monitoring the crew's biometrics. Around them, awakened humans operated controls with the confidence of veterans, though most had never been in space before, at least not in this lifetime. "All systems online," reported Sam Wilson, a former airline pilot who now remembered flying starships in the Proxima War. "Weapons charged, shields at maximum." "Launch," Bill ordered. The three ships rose from Earth with impossible speed and grace, defying the physics that should have constrained their hastily modified designs. The genetic changes in the pilots allowed them to withstand G-forces that would have killed ordinary humans. In the Galactic Council chamber, representatives watched the unfolding events through a real-time feed provided by Ilori. Many had expected to witness Earth's destruction. Instead, they saw something that sent shivers through species who had only known humans as a quarantined curiosity. They saw humanity fighting back. The three Earth vessels approached the Malgrovian fleet at tremendous speed. Admiral Drav watched their approach with growing concern. "Impossible," he muttered. "Their ships should not be capable of such maneuvers." "They're targeting our lead vessel," his tactical officer warned. "Their weapons, they're not primitive Earth technology." "Evasive. Action," Drav ordered, but it was too late. The Defiance fired its main weapon, a gravity lance built from specifications in the alien database. The beam struck the Malgrovian flagship, disabling its shields instantly. "Again," Bill ordered, and a second shot crippled the vessel's engines. The other two Earth ships, Remembrance and Horizon, engaged the remaining Malgrovian vessels. What the humans lacked in numbers, they made up for in ferocity and skill. Centuries-old combat memories guided their actions with deadly precision. Inside the Defiance, Kate monitored the crew's physical responses. "Heart rates elevated but stable," she reported. "The genetic modifications are holding." Some crew members were displaying abilities beyond even what their recovered memories suggested. Faster reactions, intuitive understanding of alien technology, and perfect coordination under stress. "The awakening is still progressing," Kate realized. "We're becoming more than we were before." On the Malgrovian flagship, Admiral Drav watched in horror as three of his ships were disabled in quick succession. "This is impossible. They were supposed to be primitives." "Sir," his communications officer called. "We're detecting another fleet approaching. Council registry." A moment later, Elder Zorn's allied vessels appeared surrounding the remaining Malgrovian ships. "Admiral Drav," came Elder Zorn's voice over the communication system. "By authority of the Galactic Council, you are ordered to stand down immediately." Drav knew he was defeated. The humans had not only survived his attack, but had demonstrated combat capabilities that should have been impossible. And now, with Council forces arriving, his mission was a complete failure. "Stand down all weapons," he ordered bitterly, as the Malgrovian ships powered down their systems. Bill ordered his fleet to maintain position but cease fire. Inside the three Earth vessels, crews cheered. Humanity's first space battle in over 800 years had ended in victory. "We did it," Kate said, the relief evident in her voice. Bill nodded, but his expression remained serious. "We won the battle, but this is just the beginning." In the Galactic Council chamber, the mood had shifted dramatically. Representatives who had called for Earth's destruction now sat in stunned silence. The humans had not only awakened, but had demonstrated they could defend themselves against one of the most advanced fleets in the galaxy. Ambassador Vexthorian addressed the assembly. "The evidence is clear. Humanity has returned to the stars. We must now decide how to proceed with this new reality." Elder Zorn rose to speak. "Perhaps it is time we remembered why humans were such valued allies before fear drove us to contain them. Their warrior spirit once saved this galaxy, it may do so again. As the Earth ships prepared to return home, Bill looked out at the stars. Stars that suddenly seemed familiar again. Humanity had taken its first step back into the galactic community. Whether that step would lead to peace or war remained to be seen. But one thing was certain: the humans were awake and the galaxy would never be the same again. 1 year passed since the battle against the Malgrovian fleet. Earth had changed more in these 12 months than in the previous century. Cities now featured buildings with technologies that seemed impossible before the awakening. Transportation systems used gravity control rather than wheels or wings. Medicine had advanced beyond recognition under Kate Miller's guidance. In what had once been the Nevada Desert Facility, now stood New Hope Center, the headquarters for Earth's growing space program. Bill Carson walked through its gleaming halls, nodding to the people he passed. Most were fully awakened now, their ancient knowledge and abilities restored. Bill entered the main conference room where representatives from Earth's nations gathered around a large table. At the far end sat Ambassador Ilori and Elder Zorn, who had come from the Galactic Council to finalize the treaty that would officially end Earth's quarantine. Commander Carson, Elder Zorn greeted him. The ancient Phylaxian looked much as he had in Bill's recovered memories from centuries ago. "It is good to see you again after all these years." "Elder Zorn," Bill replied with a respectful nod. "I believe I owe you my thanks. Your fleet helped save Earth." "A small repayment of an old debt," Zorn said. "Humans fought for my people during the Proxima War. Some of us remember our allies even after centuries." The room quieted as Kate Miller entered. In the past year, she had become Earth's leading expert on the genetic modifications that made humans unique. Her work had saved countless lives during the difficult transitions of mass awakening. "Dr. Miller," Ilori said, using her new title, "the Council Medical Division has reviewed your research. They find it impressive and somewhat concerning." Kate smiled. "Humans have always made other species nervous, Ambassador, but I hope our actions this past year have shown we're not the warmongers you feared." The Earth representatives took their seats. United Nations Secretary General Alvarez called the meeting to order. "Today we finalize the Treaty of New Hope," Alvarez announced. "Earth will rejoin the galactic community as a full member, with all rights and responsibilities that entails." Ambassador Ilori activated a holographic display showing the treaty text. "The Council has agreed to recognize Earth's sovereignty and the right of humans to travel freely through Council space. In return, Earth agrees to abide by Council laws regarding planetary development, weapons limitations, and territorial boundaries." "And the Malgrovians?" Bill asked. "What happens to them?" Elder Zorn's expression darkened. "Admiral Drav and his conspirators have been tried for their crimes. The evidence showed they deliberately triggered the human awakening to create an excuse for attacking Earth. They will spend the remainder of their lives in isolation." Secretary Alvarez looked troubled. "Could others try the same thing? Are we still vulnerable?" "No," Kate answered. "The awakening process is complete for over 80% of Earth's population. The remaining 20% will complete their transition within months. There's nothing to exploit anymore." Bill studied the treaty text. Most of it aligned with what he remembered from before the quarantine. But there was one significant difference. The military service clause is missing, he noted. In the old days, humans were required to provide soldiers to the Council in times of war. Ilori shifted uncomfortably. "Yes, after much debate, the Council decided not to reinstate that requirement. Some members felt it would be provocative. They're still afraid of us," Bill realized. "With reason," Elder Zorn said bluntly. "You must understand, Commander. In the past year, humans have developed technology that took other species centuries to master. Your ships now rival our best designs. Your weapons—" He left the thought unfinished. "We've focused on defense," Secretary Alvarez pointed out. "Earth has no expansionist ambitions. Nor did humans before the Proxima War," Ilori reminded them. "But circumstances change, threats emerge, and humans have always been effective at dealing with threats." Outside the New Hope Center, Earth's first true interstellar vessel prepared for its maiden voyage. Named Unity, it incorporated both recovered human technology and innovations shared by friendly council races. Unlike the hastily modified shuttles used against the Malgrovians, Unity was built specifically for long-range exploration and diplomacy. After the treaty signing ceremony concluded, Bill and Kate walked together to the observation deck overlooking the launch pad. "Hard to believe it's only been a year," Kate said, watching the crew boarding the massive ship. Bill nodded. "Elder Zorn told me something interesting after the meeting. Apparently some council members wanted to try putting us back to sleep after defeating the Malgrovians." Kate raised an eyebrow. "That wouldn't have worked. The process was designed to be one way." "They know that now," Bill said with a slight smile. "Their scientists confirmed it. Humans are awake for good this time." Below them, Unity's engines began their pre-launch sequence, a soft blue glow emanating from the drive section. "Will you miss it?" Kate asked, nodding toward the ship. "Being out there among the stars?" Bill had declined command of Unity, choosing instead to remain on Earth to help coordinate humanity's reintegration into galactic society. "Sometimes," he admitted. "But there will be other ships, other missions. Right now, Earth needs stability, more than exploration." A young officer approached them, saluting Bill sharply. "Commander Carson, Dr. Miller, the ambassadors from the Trilaxian Confederation have arrived. They're requesting to meet with you both." Bill nodded. "We'll be right there." When the officer left, he turned back to Kate. "More diplomatic meetings. This wasn't the part of our old lives I was eager to remember." Kate laughed. "It comes with the territory. We're the experts on how to rejoin galactic society after 800 years of isolation. Not exactly a common specialization." As they walked back inside, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Bill's communicator activated automatically. "Commander Carson," came an urgent voice. "Long-range sensors have detected an unidentified fleet entering the outer solar system. They're not responding to hails." Bill and Kate exchanged alarmed glances. "Identification?" Bill asked. "Unknown, sir. They don't match any council registry." Bill's expression hardened. "I'll be right there. Alert the defense fleet." In the command center, technicians worked frantically to identify the approaching vessels. Elder Zorn and Ambassador Alori joined Bill and Kate, their expressions grave. "Could it be another Malgrovian attack?" Kate asked. Alori shook his head. "Impossible. Their fleet was dismantled after the trial." The main screen showed the approaching ships. They were unlike any design Bill recognized from either his current or recovered memories. "Transmission coming in," a technician announced. The screen flickered and an image appeared of a humanoid figure with metallic skin and glowing eyes. "People of Earth," it said in a strangely accented voice. "We have traveled far to find you. We are the Nexus, descendants of the human colonists who left before the quarantine. We never forgot our homeworld. And now we have returned." The command center fell silent. Bill stepped forward, his mind racing with the implications. If human colonies had survived beyond known space all this time, developing independently, "This is Commander William Carson of Earth. We welcome you home." As the screen showed more of the Nexus ships approaching, Bill realized that humanity's return to the stars was just the beginning. The galaxy had been forever changed when someone broke galactic law and woke the humans. And now, with the arrival of these human descendants from beyond known space, the next chapter was about to begin. Earth wasn't just rejoining the galactic community. It was redefining it.